All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're going on a kind of inner journey, and our guide is this single ancient concept that might just unlock a whole new way of understanding ourselves.
So I want you to imagine something for a second. What if some words aren't just words? What if they're actually keys? Keys that are designed to open doors to these hidden rooms inside of you, inside your own soul. What do you think you'd find in there?
The word we're talking about today is Adamah. Now, on the surface, it's a pretty simple Hebrew word. It means soil or earth. But for what we're exploring, its meaning goes so much deeper. See, it's not about the ground under our feet, it's about the ground inside our hearts. So, where does this idea come from? It's from a framework for inner work called the Chay methodology. And in this system, words just like Adamah are used like these special keys. They're meant to give us access to what you could call a cartography of the soul, basically a map to our own inner world.
And what does this key unlock? Well, Adamah represents the actual terrain of your heart. It's that foundational space inside you for intimacy, for feeling secure, for your ability to really feel and process love. You can think of it as the soil where your entire emotional and spiritual life grows from.
The official purpose of Adamah is it's beautiful. It's to discover my deepest longings and the beat of my heart. It's all about connecting with what you truly deeply want and getting in touch with the very rhythm of your emotional core. Okay, so this is all a bit abstract, right? Terrain of the heart. Let's try to visualize it. Deep inside this Adamah, there's a central symbolic space. Think of it like an inner sanctuary. This place is called the Room of Love. And no, it's not a literal room, but it's this powerful symbol of your own personal refuge. Now, what's really crucial here is its condition. Is it beautiful and welcoming? Or is it kind of a mess, maybe even in ruins? That condition is a direct mirror of your sense of emotional security, your ability to actually receive love. But here's the most important part, the real game changer. It's not static. You have the power to renovate it.
Let me give you a real example. There's a story of a woman named Daniela. When she went into her Adamah, she found this room, but it was small and kind of empty. For her, it represented this foundation of value her dad had given her, but it felt like just a starting point. And she didn't just accept it. Right away, she asked for it to grow.
And what she did next is the key. She started to intentionally decorate it. She filled it with flowers and vibrant colors and even angels playing music. Basically, everything that for her was a symbol of love and beauty. The takeaway here is that this is an active process. We get to be the interior designers of our own hearts. But, of course, let's be real, it's not always that straightforward. A lot of people, when they first look inside, they don't find this nice, welcoming space just ready for a fresh coat of paint. A lot of times, they find obstacles. And these obstacles are just symbols of our fears, our old wounds, our limiting beliefs. People find all sorts of things. Doors they can't seem to unlock, walls that feel impenetrable. Sometimes the whole place is in ruins, like it's been abandoned for years. Or you get the opposite, a super fortified fortress built to keep everyone out. And sometimes the obstacles are more subtle, like negative words literally written on the walls, or just this feeling of stagnant, murky water everywhere. The story of Belinda is a really powerful one. She found these beautiful green pastures, but then she immediately ran into these high, thick walls. And as she explored that, she realized the walls were this form of overprotection she had built. But they weren't actually keeping her safe. They were just keeping her isolated. Then you have someone like Nelia. The obstacles in her Adamah were words. She found her walls were literally covered in phrases of self-rejection and envy. It just goes to show how our negative self-talk isn't just some fleeting thought. It can become part of the actual architecture of our inner world.
And maybe one of the most vivid metaphors comes from Dara. Her room of love was a glass box. But this box was constantly projecting all these negative messages and images about who she was. And she realized they were lies she had been hearing and believing since she was a little kid. It was like a prison made of old programming.
Okay, I know these stories can feel a little intense, but they all point to the exact same powerful truth. If we can see these structures, we can also dismantle them and rebuild. And that brings us to the really exciting part, the process of inner renovation. When you break it down, the process is pretty much twofold. First, you have to look honestly at what's there. You have to be willing to confront the walls, the ruins, the negative messages. And then second, you take active, intentional steps to transform it. You start tearing down those walls, clearing out the rubble, and consciously building your ideal refuge, just like Daniela did with her flowers and her music. One of the coolest symbols for this transformation is something called the chimney. It's described as a symbolic altar. This is a place where you can bring the ashes of your difficult experiences, your pain, your fears, your failures, and through this focused inner process, you actually transform them. You turn the pain into beauty and wisdom and strength. It's like true inner alchemy. So all of this might sound really abstract, right? Decorating rooms, transforming ashes in a symbolic chimney. You might be asking, why does any of this matter? Well, it matters because this deep, symbolic work has real, tangible effects on your actual life. People who do this work report really concrete changes. They feel more inner peace, less anxiety. They find it suddenly easier to set healthy boundaries with other people. They're less afraid in their relationships, and they become more able to freely give and receive love. It's like by healing the symbolic root in your Adamah, the fruit you produce in your daily life just naturally becomes healthier. Now, in this whole Chay system, Adamah is part of a bigger flow of energy. It's symbolically on the left side, which is linked with feminine energy. And this isn't about gender, it's about the quality of receiving, of intuition, of going inward. This is where we cultivate our security. Its counterpart on the right side is Aphär, which is linked to masculine energy, the quality of action and expression. The whole idea is that you first have to build a secure, loving home inside yourself in Adamah before you can truly and healthily express that love outward through Aphär. So ultimately, the value of taking care of your Adamah is this. It builds resilience. Life is always going to have storms, that's a given. But having a secure inner home, a refuge that you built and you cared for yourself, that gives you a safe harbor you can always return to. It's a source of strength that doesn't depend on anything or anyone outside of you. And that, of course, brings this whole question right back to you. If you were to look inward, right now, what's the state of your Adamah? What does the landscape of your heart look like? Is it a garden that's been cared for? Or are there some forgotten ruins in there? Are there walls that you thought were protecting you, but maybe they're just isolating you? And I want to leave you with this final, and maybe most important question. What amazing, beautiful things might start to flourish in that inner terrain if you just decided to start cultivating it? With intention, with patience, and most of all, with unconditional love for yourself. What wonders might be waiting for you?